Wow. This is what we work for, to get people involved. I want to thank Dr. Lee and the Won Buddhist people and everybody who was involved in creating this to happen. This is an incredibly important time. And my teacher always taught me that blessed are the brief, for they'll be invited to speak again. So I will do my best to do that. And I really wanted to tag on what Dr. Moran said. One of the other things that my wife and I do is we are the principals of an international seminary for interfaith studies. Because he's right. Without the education, without understanding, without being able to meet people where they are and not where you expect them to be, there is no chance for peace. We've been working very hard for the concept of peace, and one of the things that people keep asking is, well, what is your concept of peace? What does it mean? Well, my heritage and my antecedents did things Kabbalistically, and in Kabbalah you take a word and you take its letters, you take it apart, and see what they might mean to you. And so for me, as I was sitting here, I took the word peace, and I said, well, the P for me stands for purpose. I think that should be the 11th commandment, thou shalt have purpose. Because otherwise we just sit there in front of the whatever idiot box or computer or whatever and go, oh, that's terrible. But we don't hear somebody saying, I have to get up and do something. So we must have purpose. And for me, the E was that there has to be equality, and we kept hearing that. There has to be equality. There has to be human rights. I don't campaign for any particular rights. I've campaigned for LGBT. I've campaigned for civil rights. But it's got to be human rights. If there is anybody in this world that can have what I have, I'm going to campaign for that group to have human rights. One of the things that we try to do in Judaism is to remember that what we have here and now is a gift. And so there is a prayer, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechiyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. And we are simply thanking the divine for giving us life and sustaining us and enabling us all to be here on this day, which is a very important one. I saw Dr. Lee collecting speeches. You know, that's my speech. I don't know how she's going to collect this. Because there were so many things. We talk about reintroducing spirituality to the United Nations, but that's really what it was founded on. If you ever read any of Dag Hammarskjöld's work, the man was intensely spiritual. It was all about spirit. The meditation room at the UN, it's all about spirit. So it's our job to remind everybody that while there are many faiths, there's really only one spirit. By whatever name we approach it, there's only one spirit. We can call it God or Goddess or the Divine or Buddha or anything that comes to mind. Allah is simply a description. There is no name for God. Adonai, there is no name for God. We use a descriptive word. But everybody can tune into spirituality. And that's what started to happen at the United Nations. So I'm really optimistic also. I really am. Because I think that the news doesn't show what's going on just under the surface. The news shows anger, the news shows violence, the news shows everything that would promote separation. And yet within the level of the United Nations, below the level of the Security Council, where people have to say what they're told to say by their governments, there's a movement towards the recognition that spirituality is what will change where we are and what we're going to do. Yeah. How many of you, is there anybody here who's ever been in a pitch black room inside a cave, someplace where there was no light? Oh, hands, look at that, that's wonderful. But you know what happens in that pitch blackness if you light one match? The darkness goes away. So our job may not be to organize huge committees or organize a country or organize the world. Our job is to bring light to whomever we connect in the moment that we connect with them. Because if we can do that one-on-one, Then the next step is 2 on 2, 4 on 4, 16 on 16, and I think after 20 of those, we're up to 1 billion. So light one candle. Make a light. And remember, when people talk about peace, that it's written everywhere. In Jewish scriptures, in Isaiah, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, that we may walk the paths of the Most High, and we shall beat our swords into plowshares, and our spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. And none shall be afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken. We were all born with the knowledge of peace. Some of us were taught that's not the right thing. The rest of us here, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, realize that it is the right thing. So I'll finish perhaps with a little prayer. First of all, we were celebrating World Interfaith Harmony Week. How about we find a way to make it World Interfaith Harmony Year, World Interfaith Harmony Decade, World Interfaith Harmony Century? I don't know if I'll be around longer than that, so I'll stop there. So my prayer directly to the God of my understanding. Adonai, Adonai, Adonai. You have filled us with Ruach, the holy breath, from the very moment of existence. Help us to remember that breath in every minute of our lives so we can praise all of your creation, everything and everyone in it. The breath of healing and of peace. Thank you for the gift of your archangels, for Uriel who lights the way. May we always look for peace in that light. For Gabriel who teaches us about our path, may we always listen to the instruction to follow the path to peace and healing. For Michael, our protector, may we always remember that we are, each of us, fully protected by the love of the divine. And may we remember to share that love with all of our brothers and sisters. And Raphael, the healing angel, may we always remember that we are wrapped in the wings of healing, love, and peace. But let us never forget Shekhinah, the indwelling feminine Spirit of God. Without that acknowledgement of the feminine, without raising women up to their power, without recognizing the equality of all women, remembering that women don't usually send their children to war. Men do, but women don't. Mothers don't send their sons to war. So may we step forward into the very light that God created on that very first day with the words Yehi Or. May there be light. There is light. Light for us to see, and breath. Breath for us to pray. May we always seek to be in the light of the law that teaches us to love one another and to seek peace with all sentient beings. May we care for each other. May we care for this planet, which I think, and I can see it from here, was the Garden of Eden. The whole planet. We were told to love one another, care for one another, and take care of this planet. So we kill each other, we let each other starve, and we ruin the planet and can't understand why life isn't working well. This is the lesson to teach. It's very simple. Love one another, love every sentient being, and certainly love this planet that supports us with our very life. So may it be. Amen.